Good afternoon, folks. This is Mickey Fulp, the mercenary geologist, coming live to you from the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference in beautiful but gray downtown Vancouver, BC. Today I'm with a guy I met at the San Francisco show, Phil Walford. Good to see you, Phil.
Good to see you again, Mickey.
And Phil is the CEO of Marathon Gold. And not only that, he's a geologist, so we always can tell geology stories. But Marathon Gold, interesting company in Newfoundland. The thing that really attracted my attention when we met at dinner in San Francisco was your stock symbol. What a beautiful thing. MOZ, million ounce, you know, so that's a bit of a coup. So tell us a little bit about your share structure and your company in general.
Well, we've got about approximately 150 million shares out total. A lot more than I ever thought we would have.
Dilution is the bane of many juniors.
It's been that battle between dilution and keeping things going, and I think we've done a reasonably good job. And I think we're we're getting more attention now as our project increases
and as your share price goes up.
That's right. And when we last talked, I think we had about 1.5 million ounces, or a little over, maybe a little over 2, and now we are almost at 3.
That's 2.86, I think, exactly, with the resource estimate. Am I wrong there?
Not at all.
Now, bear in mind, we have to say that's combined, measured, indicated, and inferred. So,
correct.
How much of that would be measured and indicated?
It's about 50%, 55% measured and indicated.
Okay.
So it's a fairly healthy dose of M&I,
yep,
as they say. And that's the way I like it, because I'm a mining geologist by background, and you really learn a lot about de-risking something when you have a mine going and you have to have the grade and you have to have the tonnage, and you automatically do that, and that's what we automatically do, is de-risk a project without even using it, you know,
right,
because I know what can go wrong. And so we're always looking to say, okay, we're always questioning ourselves, where are the red flags? What are we missing?
Looking for that fatal flaw, right?
Exactly,
yep,
exactly.
Oh, that's a good philosophy, I think. So tell me a bit too, you've got some warrants in the money that will raise some money, and I didn't really understand the expiry dates on those, but
there are some warrants that are due in the next quarter, and there's about $1.5 million worth of them.
Oh, that's a nice little bump to your kitty.
That's
at the presumably. Well, I know you're drilling in the winter right now.
That's right.
Right, but I presume you can also drill in the summer in central Newfoundland. I don't know if we told everybody where your project was, but we've done that now. So.
Good. Well, we can actually drill, depending on where we are on the property, we can drill all year round.
Yeah.
Now, what we're trying to do now is we're trying to drill in some boggy areas that have never had a drill on them, and they're between 2 deposits. And there's about 3.5 kilometers or so that's never been drilled. And
you do that on the ice, obviously.
That's correct.
You're not wallowing in the mire, if you remember that old Doors song.
No, or sinking out of sight.
Well,
so
right.
So we just need the weather, and it's not been cold. It's been, you know, global warming. I'll blame it on global warming, but it hasn't been cold enough to really freeze things.
Well, boy, it's been cold in most of the northeastern tier, but you're in the Maritimes, so I guess it's a bit different out there than it is in
it is a
the
bit.
northeastern tier of the U.S. or Canada. So.
Yeah, they get a bit of the Gulf Stream effect, but we are expecting that we will in a couple of weeks be drilling there. But in the meantime, we've got lots of step-out drilling. We're drilling around the Marathon deposit, which is the largest deposit we have right now. And it looks like it's going to get bigger.
So you've got this measured, indicated, and inferred resource, which totals right now a little less than 3 million shares. It looks like, in a quick perusal, when I was doing my homework, and of course I do my homework, that's spread amongst four deposits. Is that correct?
That's correct, but really there's the 2 of them. Leprechaun, which was the original one that was discovered by other people, has just over 1 million ounces total measured, indicated, and inferred. And again, the majority of that is M&I. And then Marathon has about 1.5 million, again, about 50-50 M&I and inferred. And the rest are just small deposits. So they really don't count for much. But they are important.
Well, you probably have some exploration potential on those too,
absolutely.
right? So
Absolutely.
let's tell everybody a bit about the extent of this project and delve a little bit into the geology, the shear zone you're working on, strike length, et cetera, that you control.
Excuse me. For the geologists, we spent most of our work in a very large intrusion. Now, the intrusion itself is the oldest rock around on the property, and it has a major thrust fault coming along the side of it, which has broken the ground up and allowed the mineralized gold to come in. And that we have the thrust fault goes right through our property. We have a strike length of 30 kilometers.
Wow,
and
that's pretty big.
And of that 30 kilometers, we have 22 kilometers now that we have found quartz pyrite tourmaline veining on, and that includes the deposits.
And that's where the gold occurs in that quartz pyrite tourmaline veining, right?
Absolutely, it's a big system, but there's more because other folks have been exploring to the north of us, adjacent to our property, and they've found gold in the sedimentary and volcanic rocks, which we also have, and we also have occurrences there. But we've focused on the intrusion because that's where we feel we have the best chance to get large deposits. The rest of the property is still good to look at. So it's really a fantastic property, really.
So I think we should also mention that you're in a very mining-friendly part of Canada, central Newfoundland, pretty close to the Buckens mining camp and Duck Pond, which is an ex-Teck mine. So how far is that? Give us some idea of Newfoundland as a mining jurisdiction, let's say.
I think Newfoundland, we'll restrict ourselves to the island because there's Newfoundland and Labrador.
Right, true.
But it's very permissive for mining. There's not a lot of agriculture. There's, of course, the oil and gas. Pulp and paper was important, and it isn't anymore, unfortunately, but that's the fact. So mining is one of the pillars that the Newfoundland government wants to put their economy on. And we have a significant deposit here. And this is for a geologist, this is a classic greenstone belt thing like you'd find in northern Canada or the Motherwell District of California.
Yep.
It's the same thing, it just happens to be in Newfoundland.
And it's in younger rocks, correct?
That's correct.
And most of the Archean, it's not Archean. What age would it be?
It's Paleozoic.
Paleozoic, yeah. Yep.
It's a part of the Appalachian Mountain System.
Right, yep.
We see, I'm really thrilled with this because I've spent a lot of my career in Timmins and in in Kirkland Lake and other camps like that are of course much older. But I see exactly, that's why we got the property, because we saw this, Sherry Dunsworth, the senior VP, and I, we both saw the same thing there when we looked at the property. Thought, holy smokes. Well,
you segued into something I was going to ask you, and that's the people that you have involved with this. So obviously there's you and I are both old dumb field geologists, I think. So
true enough.
So tell us about the rest of your team.
Well, in the geology end, we have Sherry Dunsworth. She's been working with me for about 13 years, and she actually brought the property to my attention. And we have senior geologists working for us, most of whom we've trained actually over the last 5 or 6 years.
From your previous incarnation at Marathon PGM, is that correct?
Well, some did,
yeah.
But now it's almost the whole crew is our geologists that have been educated in Newfoundland, and so we're giving them a really good education now. because you know how the schools are these days. The practicality gets lost. And so we've got some really great people, and they work hard, and they're really thrilled to be there, and they've got a lot of enthusiasm. So it's really a great place to go and visit.
So $1.13 more or less Canadian is your stock price, and I'm going to do the math in my head, and I would say you've got 165 million
Thereabouts.
market cap divided by a little less than 3 million ounces, and I'm doing this in my head. So valued right now at less than $60 an ounce. Would that be correct?
That's right, and I think the ounces, we'll find more ounces. I know that,
Sure.
and I don't say things I don't believe.
That's a bit of a forward-looking statement, but you're allowed to do that. So.
But I think what's really going to be interesting to see is the preliminary economic assessment that we're doing. That's going to be out in the second quarter, and I think that'll give a lot of color to how much this project is really worth.
Okay. And the last thing I think we'll sum up is, or before we sum up, I probably should say, is your cash position right now. How much working capital or cash in the bank, or combination of whatever you've got, equities or cash position. You've got warrants in the money that'll raise, what'd you say, about another $1 million. So what are we looking for with cash, and when would you next need to go to market to fund your continuing exploration?
Okay, we've got about $7 million in the bank right now, excluding the warrants.
Okay.
And when we will go to the market is when the opportunity best presents itself.
Okay. If the right opportunity would not present itself in the next year, well, I guess what I'm coming at is, what do you anticipate would be your total burn rate, all in, say, through the end of 2018?
That's a good question. I don't have an exact answer for that, but I think that it would exceed. I'd like to get back drilling at full steam. And to do that, I think we need, and we also have a lot of engineering work to do now too that's going to come out of the PEA. So I'd say we need at least another 10 million, maybe more.
So you're looking at perhaps doing another raise within this year?
Sometime.
Yep, okay.
But no rush.
Yeah, well, that's a nice position to be in.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, folks, I urge you to take a look at Marathon Gold. Lots of ounces on the ground. Sounds like lots of upside, I think, and a very friendly mining jurisdiction of central Newfoundland. Phil, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mickey.
And thanks for watching and listening. Ciao for now.